What's up gamers, Dreamcastguy here, talking today about the Nintendo Switch Pro, because this is one of those rumors that never seems to fully die, and now there's actually a new report that just came out that's predicting that very soon, in fact in 2020, we will be playing the Switch Pro. But what is it? How is it going to improve the Switch, and how much could it actually cost? I want to get into that today and say which parts of this that I just flat out don't believe. Now, ever since the Nintendo Switch came out, it's been a system that's had a lot of people talking, mostly because it is so unique. It's a handheld, it's a console, it's kind of a hybrid, but it's definitely something that sits all on its own. Now, I actually think that this is the very best console that's out right now. It's just so fun to play, it has some great exclusives like Mario Odyssey and Mario Kart, but more than that, I think that it has some good design things to it. I think that it just fits in your hand, and it really is just fun to play. But there's definitely drawbacks. I think we can all admit that the issues they've had with Joy-Con drift are just terrible. People were buying a $300 system and some of them were just flat out broke. Also, this thing is a little bit underpowered. If you're playing a port of a big game on a tiny gadget, the graphics aren't going to be the best. So ever since this thing released, there's been a bunch of people sort of whispering the thought of, what if this was stronger? What if there was a Nintendo Switch Pro, an upgraded version of this that would somehow do things just a little bit better? Well, these new rumors, they're a little bit weird. This is all coming from a specific source that's gotten things very, very correct in the past, which is DigiTimes. They're the people who originally leaked last year. They were the first people to actually confirm the fact that there was the upgraded battery life Nintendo Switch, and they're also some of the first people to really dig into the idea of the Switch Lite, a tinier Switch that cannot connect to a TV. So the fact that they specifically are talking about a Switch Pro, it definitely deserves some attention. But here's what they're saying. There are now reports that they're saying that it's going into production soon. That not only is a Switch Pro real, they are in fact going to factory soon to be mass produced and put on store shelves by late 2020. And they think that this is all in an effort to try and compete with the other console makers. This is going to be a big year. 2020 is going to be enormous because of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. This is going to be the dawn of a new style of graphics and processing. Even people like AMD, computer processor people, are all saying that this is really the beginning of the future. While this is certainly very exciting, it's also getting people to start to ask the question of, what is Nintendo doing to try and keep up? What are they going to do with a system that is a little bit of a step down? It is basically a super fancy Game Boy, but when everything else is like photorealistic graphics, are people still going to be paying attention to the Switch? In my opinion, yes. I think the Nintendo Switch is a very supplemental system. There's actually been studies that have been shown that a lot of people own a PlayStation 4, an Xbox, and additionally a Switch. They treat it as an extra thing. I've actually heard a bunch of PC gamers say as well that they like being able to have like their 800 frames a second gameplay at home and then a Nintendo Switch on the go. The Nintendo Switch has a separate demographic, but I do think that Nintendo themselves is probably trying to plan for the future. If everything else is advancing, they need to keep up. And here is another part of the report that I find very, very fascinating. So here, let me read you this exact quote from the article. There's no concrete information regarding the potential upcoming model, but some are predicting Nintendo's next console will be the Switch Pro device. Dr. Seken Toto, CEO of games industry consultancy Katan Games, told GamesIndustry.biz, there's no doubt in his mind that Nintendo will launch a Switch Pro in 2020, specifically after the summer holidays to counter the rollout of the PlayStation 5 and the next-gen Xbox later in the year. Toto suggested a retail price of $400 with 4K support, bigger cartridge size, and of course, beefed up components. Now, this is the part that I very specifically disagree with, and I want to try and go into speculation as to what I think the Switch Pro will be. I have played a lot of Switch. I actually got one day one. I've loved it a bunch. I own multiple versions of each of them, and I think that the Nintendo Switch is not lacking in power. It's not lacking in tech. What it's lacking is in extra options. And here's where I think things are going to get a little bit crazy. I do believe that we're going to get an upgraded Switch, but it's not going to do 4K. I actually don't think that they really care that much about like Ultra HD. Instead, if I had to make my own personal prediction as a Nintendo fan, I think that what they're going to try and do is cut down on load times, because in general, Nintendo games load very, very fast. One of the things that I think that everybody can agree is that the Switch, having cartridges, makes it where you can boot up humongous game worlds instantaneously. But even still, making things just a half second faster, that's going to be great. Bigger cartridge size, this is another thing that seems at least partially substantiated. There has been some copyrights and stuff, there has been some like registered trademarks that show that this stuff is real. We're going to start to have even more massive data on the Nintendo Switch games themselves. I think that the point of this, though, isn't going to be a stronger Switch. It's going to be a better dock. You see, here's the thing, the Nintendo Switch is all about form function. It's all about being compact, fun, accessible. It's super, super simplistic. If they were going to try and upgrade the physical hardware, I do think that they're going to be doing it at the cost of size. In order to try and make things have 4K visuals or maybe just a faster frame rate when you're in handheld mode, I think that this is going to end up increasing the size, the weight, or the cost, if not all three. Instead, what I think they may do is try and increase its optimization. You may know this, but this is the upgraded Nintendo Switch already. This is the one with a better battery life that came out late last year. Now, the thing is, this technically has the exact same parts, the exact same battery, but it actually lasts longer because it's more efficient. That's it. It's basically just a better built machine with the exact same objective. I think that the Nintendo Switch Pro is going to be that again. It's going to be trying to streamline the process even further, but this time, instead of being this, it's going to be the dock. I think that what they're going to try and do is maybe put some sort of extra processor in the dock itself. Here, let me grab my dock. So this is the Nintendo Switch dock. Obviously, right now, it's pretty much just like a projector. You're putting your Switch in this to connect it up to your TV, but this itself has practically nothing in it. I think that if they're going to make a Nintendo Switch Pro, this is where it's going to lie. This is where all the secrets are going to be. It's going to possibly make it where it can upscale a little bit more cleanly, maybe give it a little bit of extra horsepower. You can put external components, like they could put in a supplemental processor inside of this to make it where your games run just that little bit better. They could also do something like put, an actual cable port. Instead of making it where the Nintendo Switch is wireless, give us the option of maybe playing things direct connection. That way, when I'm playing something online, like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I can have that extra seamless connection without depending on good Wi-Fi. This is where the secrets lie. This is where the untapped potential is. My only thought is, can they really make it cheap? I definitely, the one part of this report that I fully disagree with, at least from my point of view, they're not going to make it $400. I think that Nintendo is very, very smart, and the lesson they've definitely learned is that if you make something as affordable as possible, you'll sell 10 times more consoles. People just don't want to spend that little bit more if they think they're getting a good deal. So I think that what they'll probably do is release it at still $300, but maybe try and just do something with it. Maybe make it like $350 for a package deal, but I think that the objective is going to be trying to convert current Switch users into upgrading, or maybe getting it where new players will all want to buy the newest Switch. This is still just a lot of speculation, but I am excited for it. Will it come out in 2020? I do think that's a good chance. Will it be a giant upgrade? Probably not. And for everybody who's trying to say that this thing might play separate games, you're out of your freaking mind. The Switch is selling faster than ever. There's more controllers for it than ever. There's more stuff to do with it than ever. The last thing they're going to do is shoot themselves in the shoulder and try and divide the fan base. Whatever happens in 2020, I do think that Nintendo has some very big plans in mind, but hopefully it's at least affordable. I do think that we'll see this very, very soon, perhaps a little bit after E3. That's normally the time frame where it seems like Nintendo likes to try and reveal new hardware, because it's quiet enough that they can get attention, but also loud enough that people will really kind of take it seriously. But I guess we're all going to find out very, very soon. What do you think about the Nintendo Switch Pro? Which parts of these rumors do you think are real, and which part is very, very fake? I guess we're all going to find out, but thanks so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. I got a very bad haircut today that looks incredibly awful. I'll make you a deal. If this video somehow gets 3,000 likes, I will do the next video without my hat on, and you can all make fun of just how awful my remaining hair is. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.